Okay, alrighty. Well, over here on Train, the knife round can actually be quite impactful because it allows you to start off on that CT side. They're quite heavily favored side here on Train. And looking at these odds over from our partners at LootBet, actually slightly favor MIBR going into this map, which I think is about right because overall as a series, everyone seems to have them dead even. So to ever so slightly favor each team on their own map pick absolutely makes sense. Kicking things off though, we're seeing Mad Lions heading 4 players over towards A, and it could be a fast Ivy push here. The smokes go down. They all cross. Acor throws that smoke, and he's falling right back, but they're not slowing down here. Oh.
It's a pretty gnarly headshot to get us started as Acor does revert back to this A bomb site. They know exactly where he is and able to take him away, but MIBR are being contained, shot away like fish in a barrel. Innocent nicely able to finish that one off. 1-0 Mad Lions. And you see that containment setup there, just trying to bait MIBR into those multiple crossfires. It felt like Mad Lions had all of the building blocks in place, and MIBR just couldn't find those preliminary shots. Yes, Taco and Fallen picking up a couple of kills, but nobody else really doing anything there. MIBR, they lose this pistol round. They're pushed onto the force buy for this second round. We see the scout come through. It's Deagles all around apart from this. See if they can potentially break into this B bomb site where Shush is holding a solo defense.
Well, you absolutely have to give these Deagles the respect they deserve. As they walk over towards B, Mad Lions actually seem to be reading this one quite well. They've got 2 players on the site. They've got Innocent on the fast rotation in connector. And MIBR once again stacked up on the other side of a smoke. KNG on that lurk's going to fall, though. That's going to initiate the rotation. Now the push comes through, and surely they get mowed down. Fallen actually finds himself a nice shot in the meantime, but it all comes down to him. Spots out another. That's going to be a freebie as Acor's looking the wrong way. This is now doable. A 2-on-1. Only a scout in hand, of course, but Fallen, he's not missing anything today, and it's a 1-on-1. Action in connector with this M4. He may just have a sight line on the bomb, and that's what he's holding for. But Fallen seems to have the positional advantage. He just doesn't know where he is. Oh, he's going to wrap all the way around CT, Squid.
That was just about as fast a shot as you can possibly hit for Fallen. It's a block out to try and finish off the job. Asilia needs to be very careful about this one. Back turned. Is Fallen really going for a knife here? No, instead the headshot. Asilian realizes just a little too late. 1-1. MIBR turn the tide. And let's watch that again from Fallen. This first shot is pretty routine stuff, but the second is stunning. You see that he's getting all of the bearings as to where these final 2 players are maneuvering from. And, well, Fallen just able to finish off the job there. That is beautiful from the captain.
That absolutely is an incredible clutch, and it actually means that they win that second round, which can be so, so important. Forces Mad Lions right down to a force of their own. Oh, Acor with this Zeus. I don't think he's going to be allowed anything. He will creep up this ladder, though. Oh, not quite connecting. Got excited there, but that's going to give away his position, force him right back. MIBR are going to head over towards B, where currently there's only 1 player waiting, but the rotations are coming fast through. Obviously, that Zeus, whilst it didn't connect, it actually gained a fair amount of info as he spotted out 3 players. Now they stack 4 over to this B site. And MIBR, for now, are just going to walk straight into it.
Eagles at the ready and walking into the blender once again. Shush takes 3 for his troubles, and now Fallen challenged once more. Unable to do anything there. The team's absolutely crunching them on the ramp. And MIBR just couldn't get even a little close to this B bomb site. Look at all of these shots connecting. That was like 6 out of 6 for Shush.
Wow. I'm actually quite surprised they still went for that B bomb site, even after that Pop Dog player spotted them out. Seems quite bizarre. Would have gained all that info, almost certainly would have called the rotation. Maybe not a full stack, but it certainly should have been anticipated to some degree. Once again, they're down to these Deagles and the Scout, and, well, I'm not massively confident in Fallen's ability to pull off another crazy play, but a very nice headshot to kick things off. And if this Deagle can chime through, then maybe they take the 2-man advantage. It's not going to be the case. We're back to a 4-on-4. No rifles retrievable for MIBR as well, as That scout shot came in from miles away.
That's where Fallen's at his best, and well, there's another one. Finally taken to task by Innocence M4, able to double it up, but keeping the numbers even here for MIBR. These Deagles are still incredibly deadly, and especially with the retrieved rifle there, maybe the ability to do at least something. A nice double peek from Mad Lions. That's what we'll see left, right, and center from this CT side. Coordination and communication should be at its best. 3-1, exemplary stuff for the Danes to get us started here in this series. And this is where MIBR might have a couple of troubles. They're on this T side, a very CT-sided map. I would massively expect Mad Lions to be aiming for this double-digit marker on their counter-terrorist half. And this is an opportunity to build some bank, Jay. The MP9 in hand, Roy will probably be sending that nice and aggressive. And this is where MIBR should be fully shut down. Their goal, just to get a bomb plant on this B-bomb site.
Well, Shush and Acor holding on to this site. As soon as they push through, I think the rotations will come in, and they've got enough utility to deny it. So they will stack up over towards heaven, though. Shush has got a monster task on his hands. Not too many bullets left in that M4A1S. He sprays away, gets himself two. But Acor chimes in the meantime. The pistol comes out, and they completely shut it down. Not a single casualty, not a single player even getting close to that bomb site as Mad Lions take 4. And of course, this is MIBR's map pick. It's certainly too soon to be calling anything, especially considering we saw back and forth initial rounds coming off the pistol. But if Mad Lions can continue to string together these CT rounds, if they can convert this buy round and force MIBR back into another eco, they could certainly rack up a few early rounds and secure a good half for themselves here. And if they can do so, then they'll be pretty comfortable going into Vertigo. Taking loads of early control, but look at that from Innocent. Perfect flash from Roy, and Innocent's going to capitalize on it.
That's the issue for MIBR here, is not a lot of these players are connecting early in this server. If you look at the scoreboard, KNG and TRK all on either 0 or 1 kills. Fallen's the only player to have done anything thus far, and here's the challenge for Taco. He's got 5 to find and only able to merit the single. Means Mad Lions themselves will get up to their 5th round. This is starting to get a little out of control. MIBR definitely have a lot of space in this first half to force them onto, well, a 4 or 5 rounds perhaps. I guess that's the goal here for the terrorist side. But how are you expecting to win this series if, 3 players aren't hitting their shots whatsoever? Still very early days. And we know how good KNG can often be, especially on that CT side where he negotiates between the M4 and the AWP. He can sometimes be a very flary, fiery player, both inside and outside of the server. And right now, MIBR need to call upon him and realistically the whole roster to defeat a team like Mad Lions. On paper, you'd look at the names and say that MIBR would definitely have a series like this, but the results as of late would maybe suggest anything but. 5-1.
This is quite an interesting buy. I was thinking at the start of this timeout, what are they going to go for here? Because they actually have enough money to go for somewhat of a buy, maybe a couple of AKs, couple of Galils. They'd have limited utility, but there would be a buy there. Or they could go for these Deagles, and instead they've actually gone for a hero AK on Taco and just the pistol force on everybody else. Let's see what they can get done with this. Of course, Taco, the man that has to lead the charge, try and find this opener. Acor's got a very, very aggressive angle, and he's going to nail him. Fur's falling. Taco's still alive with that AK, of course, but in the meantime, Mad Lions are taking tons of control over towards A, and now that they know what's up, Shush is going to rotate over. 2 players on this B site. And if MIBR do decide to backtrack, they're going to be in for some trouble.
Yeah, they're going to get a nasty surprise if they try and fall off of B right now. Of course, with that triple-pronged defense over beside A, Train can often feel like an impenetrable fortress. And while with a minute left, MIBR haven't found a single opening thus far. First having a little bit of a stinker. 1-7 for him. And now it's time for MIBR to shine. I guess this isn't like a key crucial round for them. They can go for the buy in the next. But this drop down pop dog is going to be incredibly influential. If they can nail Roy nice and quickly, then there's every opportunity. But that smoke pretty much does prevent any dropping pistol shenanigans from coming through. He's got quite an assertive angle here, Jay.
He really does. KNG on this lurk might be the man to try and draw the attention away. Shush, though, as soon as that flash comes through, he's going to peek out, find himself the one, call the rotations in. KNG doesn't cause much of a distraction. Shush should still be able to deny this plant. The trade does come through from Taco, though, but now he's last alive against 3. The plant will go down. There's no utility to deny it, but as they all start to swarm him, there's no chance whatsoever. A fantastic headshot from Acord to finish him off. And Mad Lions put themselves onto 6. This starts to get dangerous now, Squid. This is quite an important round for MIBR to convert. Otherwise, Mad Lions put themselves onto 7, 8 rounds early on here on this CT side. That can get out of hand very quickly. And whilst it's round number 8, let's talk about our partners over at Hellcase. Make sure you use code MALTAV15 for a refill bonus when you top up.
I think that's what makes Mad Lions so scary, by the way, just this consistency on the CT side. They don't have the most fiery or flary players, those adjectives that I used to describe KNG just a couple of moments before. Nevertheless, it's all of those pieces are firing in unison, which makes a defensive half really scary. And how they're responding to MIBR right now, it seems like they always have the right idea. A little bit of aggression for the first time from the Danes. Just peering into A main, spotting out absolutely nothing here, and expect this smoke to go down. And Innocent to assume one of these more aggressive angles. Roy, that's a nice shot. Just spotting Taco as that smoke dissipates. There's nothing you can do about that if you're Taco. You need to be hyper aware. And he's actually looking into the corner, trying to play the anti-flash position. And Roy reads it perfectly.
It's little things like that that seem to be giving the Mad Lions an advantage round after round. Even going back to the pistol, of course, where they went for that Ivy rush and the USB just falls back and lands one headshot, just kind of like a random lucky headshot to some degree, just as he's falling back. It just gives them that man advantage, forces MIBR in a position where they can no longer play the trading game. They have to play as a unit. They have to find an opening kill, possibly 2 opening kills, just to wriggle their way into any control. And right now, time is of the essence. 25 seconds on the clock. They flash into A main, but Innocent's not going to be phased by it. He does get traded, and TRK is able to find himself one of his own, but Action's still here to try and deny it. He is going to get taken out, and the bomb will almost certainly go down here on the A site. But Acor coming in from old bomb, and Shush coming in from... Oh my goodness, they've completely shut that down from Pop Dog. The bomb's going to go down just in time, but it's going to get denied once again. KNG not able to do the work. Both Thorpes being retrieved as well. And Mad Lions put themselves onto 7. That was an absolute mess.
Yeah, that was really messy from MIBR. Mad Lions played a really aggressive defense on that A bomb site, allowed the Brazilians to find all of those first 3 kills, but not aware of that prompt from Prop Dog and just taking away that bomb before it could go down, not just once, but twice. 7-1 here for Mad Lions, and playing the game perfectly here on the CT side, preventing that bomb from going down, halting any aggression from MIBR. They did give away some kills, which now prompts them back into a more passive defense. Look at that defensive line right in the back, and quite a stunning shot onto third to get us started. It's already 7-1, and MIBR needs something special right now. Otherwise, the scoreline's going to rattle and roll out of control. With Fallen also dropping, the Mad Lions look incredibly convincing with its quadruplet of defense.
Through a smoke, through a wall. Acor just doesn't care. They're going to completely put MIBR to bed. Now they sit on 8. 8-1 right now, Squid, as we go into round number 10. MIBR haven't got a buy left in them. They're going to have to force down to what I assume will just be some pistols, some Kevlar, an opportunity for Mad Lions to put themselves onto 9 here early on. Train is not going well for MIBR, and considering it's their map pick, I expected a lot more from them.
I think since both of these teams have played each other fairly often, with Mad Lions actually winning almost every time, or just over half of the time, I would say. 5-3 in maps, but in these series, they are 2-1 above MIBR, with the third that MIBR did take being incredibly close. These two teams do seem to play each other quite close. Lots of 16-13s on the board. And well, here with the Pistols, I'm expecting Mad Lions to push themselves to within one of double digits. Akelzorp has been incredibly consistent from start to finish. And there's that aforementioned 9-1 scoreline.
The real issue that MIBR are facing right now is the fact that because they've allowed Mad Lions to take 9 in a row, or in fact 8 in a row, and because they've allowed them to keep so many players alive in these rounds, you've got players like Acor sitting on 16k. You've got everyone else sitting around that $10,000 mark, and it means that even if you start putting rounds on the board now, even if you convert this buy round, for example, with this double AWP setup in play, you still have to face up against a buy for the absolute until the end of the half, yeah, right up until round number 15. KNG this time is going to open things up. He's the man that you said might be pulling out that secondary AWP here on the MIBR side, and that's exactly what he does. First time MIBR have found that opener in quite a while, I feel. That might just, well, turn the tides for them and allow them to convert this round.
Now it's down to the captain, right? Fallen has to give some sort of strategy or tactic to abuse this 4-man setup for Mad Lions. We see the aggressive prod into Ivy for Asilian. He's looking right down the line and finally falls back. Doesn't really want to challenge TRK on that long angle. He knows that there are AWPs in the server. And obviously peeking right into the T-spawn is a bit of a danger zone here for this CT side. You don't want to do it unless you absolutely have to. And this is quite an awkward defense for Mad Lions. They play 3 towards B. This is a bit of a gamble and maybe even a read. You know that these members would have been digging and trawling through the demos. Maybe they know that MIBR favor that B bomb site after they get that first pick, but not the most predictable. They are going to try and swing into Asilian here, and that should activate the rotates for the other trio of members. Asilian's got another aggressive angle, just about misses the shot by a whisker. That should give away the A bomb site to MIBR, but a fully blind smoke shot. Asilian, what are you doing? And he's still going, trying to connect even more, just rattling off shot after shot. And MIBR need to be incredibly scared about facing this angle. Roy's done tons of damage. There's the finisher, leaving just KNG versus 3, all alone on this bomb site. And that bomb's really not too far ticked. They're going to tap it out right now. They know exactly where he's playing from. There's the first shot, giving a bit of a chance now. Smoke down. He needs to peek right here, right now, but misses the shot. That's a 10th for Mad Lions. Knowing that he's got the AWP in hand, you can always go for that gamble, and that's the AWP eliminated.
That's going to be real costly. They're not going to be able to afford to buy up another one of those unless they go for a glass cannon. That's not going to happen. So Mad Lions sit 10-1. MIBR, of course, off the back of that bomb plant, will have the cash to invest into this one, but it's just going to be the rifles falling down to a Galil. And that last round was just so unfortunate. KMG opens things up with that AWP shot, but then just doesn't do a whole lot else throughout the round until right at the end. And Asilian once again opens things up. A very nice early shot gives them that man advantage as MIBR charge onto this A bomb site, but they're on the back foot once again and they're falling like flies. Fallen finally finds himself one to work with, actually gets a second as well, but Roy's coming in from the back lines, denying this one. And despite the fact it's a 2-on-2, the HP advantage and the positional advantage certainly sits with the Mad Lions.
And MIBR needs to rely on these two players missing AWP shots here. From Pop Dog, Akel's actually got the Deagle in hand. When does he want to go in for this one? Just trying to scurry and scavenge for some initial information. Asilian is stood out fairly open. Now they've got to be aware that this could be a B play. But Asilian has been the most consistent of players for this Mad Lions roster thus far. Wouldn't be surprised if he actually converted once more. not really a massive number of kills with this AWP on A. Just the rounds that he has taken have been incredibly influential. The timing might not work out for him. Switches just in time. KNG gone. Leaves Fallen looking for the ace versus these two players, and he gets caught between the crossfires. 11-1. This is looking really, really dodgy.
Wow. A valiant attempt there from Fallen, and actually the AK being picked up over saving the orb, and he's going to buy himself another orb. This is how much cash the Mad Lions Hide have. They're sitting on 16k right now, and they would actually rather pick up that AK, buy themselves another orb here in round number 13, and just try and extend this lead further. And well, look at this. MIBR are actually allowing Mad Lions to get to 12. They don't want to get into this force cycle where they just continue to buy up the AKs and Galils every round, and Acor once again opening things up. This is almost certainly going to force a fast play from MIBR over towards B, but they're already ready for it. They know that that single player towards A was just a fake, and well, they shut it down in a matter of seconds. Mad Lions put themselves onto 12. And this is a rather uneventful game from MIBR. I saw a lot of promise when we saw that crazy clutch from Fallen in round number 2. I thought, wow, we've got a crazy map on our hands. And instead, it's quite the opposite.
Yeah, this hasn't been anything special from the Brazilians. You see that scoreboard on the Mad Lions team discounting the 12-1 scoreline. Shush has 21 frags, Acor 16. This double AWP setup is finally paying dividends. In fact, it has been since the start. And Innocent's been showing up with 12 kills of his own. There's nobody firing on all cylinders for MIBR. I know Fallen, yes, he's got 11 kills, but First still stuck on 1. TRK and KNG on 3 and 4 apiece. Taka not much better. They need to step up either right now or cast their minds forward to this second map. I think on Train, you need to guarantee yourselves at least 3 rounds and then the pistol to combine with it. Otherwise, this map is going to be very over. The door is open for Mad Lions to gather together a 14-1 half. And that would be a painful start to this day for MIBR here. Quarterfinals, single elimination bracket. There's no second chances this time.
It will absolutely be difficult going into Vertigo, knowing that your opponents have just decimated you on your own map pick. Finally, we see an A execute coming in from MIBR, but the Molotovs come through. It certainly slows them down. Roy up close and personal as the flash comes through. Oh my, Shush once again. Fantastic support player coming through with a 3K, and Roy finds one of his own. KNG, well, he's been the lurk player for a lot of this game, and he's not really been able to get anything done, purely down to the fact that the lurker only works when your teammates actually get onto the site, they maybe do some damage, and then you can come in from behind and maybe try and draw some attention or catch off a couple of off-guard players. Instead, he just seems to be left in these 1v4, 1v5 situations time and time again. There's really nothing he can do here.
Yeah, absolutely not. Saving almost doesn't make any sense when you've only got the 1 rifle in hand. I guess you can carry through this AK-47 into the 15th. I don't know. I think it's a bit of a double-edged sword in terms of the decision-making. A couple of headshots and might just want to go in for this one. And I don't know. I really don't have the answers. And neither do MIBR. 13-1 here, Jay. They'll carry this final AK-47 through to round number 15. Of course, the max loss bonus is in full effect. Has been for some time. We'll see. Everybody up around the $3,500, $3,600 mark. And with that AK going down after the round, that's an absolute nightmare. KNG is stuck with just $1,200. Yes, he can pick up maybe a Tech 9 and body armor. Perhaps even that's a bit of a stretch. We'll see what he decides to go for here. But Mad Lions playing that perfectly. Knowing from the 30 to 40 second mark that he's going to save. Deciding, right, if he's over by Ivy, we're going to push him after time. Not allowing him to save any money. Not get that loss bonus. And that is absolute tragedy here. Going through to the A bomb site once again. This has not paid dividends for the Brazilians. And Asilian shuts them down for a main one more time. Innocent's up close and personal. He should be able to finish this one off. A perfect flash takes him out of the equation. But with MIBR creeping closer, how is Mad Lions now going to respond? It's apparently just with all of the frags. Quick kills, the smoke place, but it doesn't even matter. And KNG is not long for this world, Jay. He is very, very gonzo here. 1 versus 3. He needs all of the headshots, and it's never going to happen. 14-1. Just about as one-sided as it possibly gets for Mad Lions. And I know that lots of people in the scene actually take a little bit of glee when MIBR lose. They like to rib them a little bit. We have to really pay attention to how well Mad Lions are playing. This has been a bit of a master stroke of the CT side of Train. This is a very counter-terrorist heavy map, and when you pick it, you always run the risk of losing the knife, starting on the T side, and having to battle for these rounds. But considering Mad Lions don't have the best streak of results on Train, they've put together a really, really solid half here.
They absolutely have, and you always question it when MIBR go 5 rounds down, 6 rounds down, and we were saying it at the start. It's like, yeah, no, they've still got an avenue back into this one if they can convert this buy round, and then it just builds up and builds up and builds up to the point where you're 14-1 down. What are you hoping for here? The pistol round, maybe? I think it's very, very unlikely that MIBR are able to bring this one back. Mad Lions have just been playing absolutely incredibly, hitting all of their shots, and actually their coordination as a team has just been impeccable as well. As soon as they get aggressive over towards A, they gain a little bit of information, and either they realize that there's no MIBR presence over towards that side of the map, or maybe they hear a bit of info of the players walking over bathrooms or something like that. They'll rotate those guys over. They'll deal with the B push perfectly. And the same vice versa. They're always trying to prod. They're always trying to get information so that they can put themselves in the best possible positions to deal with what MIBR are going to throw at them. And they did it flawlessly for the entire game. The only round that MIBR won was off of the back of a crazy 1 versus 4, I believe it was, from Fallen. It was just mental.
Yeah, when that's the only round that you've been able to take thus far, you're definitely in a very worrying place, to say the least. 14-1, obviously not looking good whatsoever. I think we have to cast our minds forward to Vertigo coming up, and even that is Mad Lions' map pick. I wouldn't have said, looking at this series on paper, that Mad Lions had necessarily won the veto in any way, but we're looking at those odds. It's maybe the most one-sided odds I've seen casting any of these Malta Vibes tournaments. 1 to 14.3, Jay. That's pretty one-sided. That's quite the statement here. And thoroughly deserved for Mad Lions. 14-1, just a perfect CT side. You see none of these shots connecting. A scrappy pistol fight over behind the B-bomb site. And this is going to just allow Mad Lions to creep in closer to A. MIBR necessarily expecting this one. Yes, the smokes telegraph the push. And this double set piece has been spotted. KNG is able to take another one. Mad Lions now sending things into this A site. And they seem to be finding all of the kills. Acre once again just nailing faces there on the bomb train. The flank caught and Fallen by name and by reputation, apparently. 15-1.
Wow, it was looking like MIBR might be able to get that one done after they found that opening kill, but instead Mad Lions just come back swinging, get onto that bomb site, and don't miss a single shot from there on out. They put themselves onto 15 now. They've got all the weapons to work with, and MIBR do not. Huge potential here for Mad Lions to take this one 16-1, which is crazy considering every single time these two teams have played each other, no match has gone to this kind of scoreline. It's not even been close to this kind of scoreline. It's always been within 2-3 rounds of each other. This is really, really surprising. MIBR, well, they're taking some aggressive stances, of course, over towards A. Mad Lions are playing this well. They're going for this slow default, spreading around this map, trying to get some information, and they'll execute a little bit later on. They've got plenty of time to work with.
I see that there are a couple of people in the Twitch chat saying that this is going back 15-15, so I like the confidence, but I don't think I can get on the comeback train thus far. I need to see MIBR at least take like a couple of rounds here before I start feeling anything about this one, to be perfectly honest. 15-1. Mad Lions might be able to close this one out against the Scrappy Bite right here, right now. As we see, it's only a couple of pistols. KNG's MP9's on 4 HP already. Mad Lions above this. If one of these traded engagements and TRKs, he's about to get challenged as he instant trade on through the information granted and given. And I think Caecilian's going to go right through this smoke here. Just going to challenge the Deagle. It also goes down and trying to challenge the Scout at long range. That is peculiar punishment there on the A-bomb site, as this map is very, very over. KNG, nothing that he's going to be able to do on 4 HP here. Fallen to the next to fall. 16-1. That is not the barn burner we were expecting, but just very, very one-sided. I don't need to say that. Like, I know that I know a certain amount about Counter-Strike, but that's pretty much the most basic thing that you can say, that 16-1 is just a very one-sided scoreline.
Absolutely. The scoreline certainly shows it. And, well, that was really unexpected. We haven't actually casted a single 16-1 match in the whole of these weeks of Multivibes that we've done. So to see it here in this game is absolutely incredible. Mad Lions have certainly woken up on the right side of the bed today. They are looking on fire. And I'm excited to see what they can bring into Vertigo as well. Because if they can take down MIBR 16-1 on Train, and some of these players like Shush at 3.25 KD, he sat 26-8. He was unstoppable that game, even in scenarios where maybe he was flashed, he was playing up close to a smoke, and you think, oh, he's certainly in a one and done position here. He comes out with 2-3 kills time and time again. He was absolutely incredible that match.
These player comparisons are usually pretty comparative, right? You usually see the top two performers quite evenly matched in terms of the kills, but just absolutely not there. The disparity is very, very blatant, and that is what you get with the 16-1, to be perfectly honest. A pretty uninteresting first map. The pick of Train not going MIBR's way. Mad Lions sit 1-0 up. We'll go to a quick break. I think everybody needs it before we get into Vertigo.
Nice shot. Lock and load. Wow, very good. Let me show you how it is done. Yeah, no. Damn! That was one of the best tickle fights I've been to.
Welcome back to your daily dose of Malta Vibes Week 9, presented by Eden Esports. It's the home of gaming excellence. We didn't see much of that during map 1. 16-1 on MIBR's map pick. They didn't take it. They go down 0-1 here with Vertigo on the cards next. We actually did see MIBR play Vertigo just the other day against Gambit Youngsters, and it was more promising, to be perfectly honest. It did go to overtime. They were able to just about squeak a victory in that one. But here against Mad Lions, I'm really not sure what to expect. They've got a 100% win rate on it just over the last 4 series that they've played recently. Of course, Jay, with the tier 1 player break taking full effect, we don't have a very deep pool of maps to look for. The statistics that we actually look towards for these teams are actually quite old, with not really much Counter-Strike being played over the last month or two.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, looking at the statistics for Mad Lions over the past couple of weeks on Vertigo, of course, they've played it 3 times over the last sort of 2.5 weeks, and they've had some incredible results from it, as I've read out earlier. Those 3 wins, both actually being incredibly dominant, 16-8, 16-5, and 16-0. So going into this second map, let's say that this was the first map, right? We completely put Train aside from us, and we say, right, we're clean slate, go into Vertigo. I'd actually slightly favor Mad Lions just on the basis of the fact that it's their map pick. They've had incredible results on it recently as well. But then to go in on it on the back of a 16-1 loss on your own map pick, that's got to be very, very difficult. I think that a side like MIBR, considering they've been together so long, and actually, I suppose like the core of this roster almost been together since like 2016 kind of time, I think they'll probably have quite a lot of mental resilience, and they'll be able to come into this one with their heads held high and completely put it behind them. I think that that's something that comes into play when you're a tier 1 player. You have that mentality. However, I don't know. I don't know if they've got it in them today, Squid.
I'm not sure either. Well, enough chit chat for the time being. We're going to get into this one right here and right now, starting things off quickly on Vertigo with that knife round. Vertigo knives, usually not as impactful. You don't really need to win it. I think that you're pretty even whether you start on the T or CT side. It doesn't have that disparity that you see through other maps. But with MIBR winning this knife, they now get to select that side. And commonly, you would want to go for that CT side, but they elect to actually go for the terrorist half. And considering they went down 14-1 on the T side of Train, this is a bit of a ballsy move here. I guess you don't want to run the same risk of this happening twice in a row. And you see those odds really starting to shift and tilt now. Mad Lions perhaps firm favorites to take their pick over the top and close us out 2-0.
Yeah, that's quite surprising considering this is MIBR's map pick. I think they'd almost certainly be favored.
It's this is Mad Lions.
Oh no,
pick.
sorry, Mad Lions map pick, of course. Yeah, of course it's Mad Lions map pick. That is still quite surprising considering how close we saw the odds over on Train. That is heavily relying on the performance that we saw in that last map. Shush. Little does he know there's actually 5 guys on the other side of that box and they're all ready to swarm in. The grenade does very minimal damage, but he seems to be able to dance around these Molotovs and jam himself in the middle. MIBR going for this stack over towards the B site as they all swarm in over mid. Just able to do a little bit of damage, even finds himself a kill, and he's going to fall right back. Call the rotations, and the retake will start to come through with this man advantage.
This triple prompt from behind, a fast flank, and Taco's able to eviscerate the first. Block still in hand as he's going to rattle off even more shots. That flank getting decimated, leaving just Mad Lions with the final 2 players on this B-bomb site. They need to hit all of the shots right here, right now, and that bomb's not going to get defused. What a round from MIBR here in the pistol. Just completely shutting away Mad Lions. A complete change of pace in this series. And that's why they've picked this T-side, Jay. They want to control the pace. They don't want to go down too far too early. And now they've got the slight advantage going into this second, considering they are just playing against the pistols. A couple of deagles in hand. I don't see a second, even a single SMG to boot.
Yeah, Mad Lions don't have a whole lot to work with here. Shush could have had a little bit of money behind him, of course, finding a couple of kills in that last. That was a really nice pistol round from MIBR, though. That flank just couldn't quite connect its shots, and well, it certainly cost them. This boost coming in from Innocent now. This one's often checked. So I think that maybe in the early days of the new Vertigo changes, that came in and would catch teams off guard. Seems to rarely happen nowadays. Asilium throwing that early smoke. He's going to allow to get up close to it, maybe try and find himself something to work with. But for now, MIBR are actually playing this quite smart. They're not committing to anything. They're not storming straight into a deagle stack. Instead, they're just feeling around, and the boost actually pays off. Innocent's able to find a kill, and no trade comes through as Asilium finds another.
Oh no, these Deagles are going to work right now. 4 quick kills, leaving Taco alive on his lonesome. And somehow a flawless round for Mad Lions on the A bomb site. What a perfect performance. That boost absolutely paying dividends over by the sandbags. It was just able to stay alive. And realistically, MIBR just got stuck in the mud right there. Ramp is a key choke point that you really have to win your duels within. And if you're not hitting all your shots, maybe you do have to speed things up. This will be a force buy going into the third, just challenging mid with the pistols, leaving only a MAC-10 AK-47 combination to hold up the angle, and lots of initial damage dealt, leaving Innocent to try and pick up the pieces with the AK-47. Yes, does trade up evenly, but that AK is still out in the open, hangs in the balance. I don't think MIBR are going to be able to get too close to that one, especially with the nade. I think blowing it back, that's really smart stuff.
Well, back into a 3-on-3. An opportunity to jump back to last round. I actually really like the way that Mad Lions played that boost. I was talking about how the T's often always check it. And actually, as MIBR were walking up the ramp, they were looking for it. They were anticipating that boost to come through. But Mad Lions weren't facing. They had it ready, but they weren't peeking off of it. And then much later in the round, when MIBR had turned their attention elsewhere, that's when they go for it. Fallen has a sneaking suspicion that Akel's in the corner, but he doesn't hard check it. He just kind of looks over it for a second, doesn't actually clear the angle, and that's going to cost them round number 3. Taco with 40 seconds on the clock, the bomb in no man's land. Very little equity in this round, but a nice headshot might give him a bit of leg room.
Professional players, especially those at tier 1, have a 6th sense. Fallen just ignoring his right there. You could see that he was aware that it was a possibility. It's not a common angle whatsoever. And with only 12 seconds left, I don't see any opportunity for Taco to get the bomb down. He gets shut down instead. 2-1.
Wow. A couple of AKs retained as well from the Mad Lions, but look at this once again. Akel, that's such a smart play to get himself in that corner. And once you're down there, you actually just have the full ramp control. You can relay any information from any rotations or anything like that. And if anybody pushes through, you either find yourself 2 kills like that, or even if he does fall, he now knows how many people are headed towards A, and he can just call that info. MIBR right now then just forced down to these Glocks as they start to walk down over towards A ramp. Flashbang in hand. They hope that they can swarm in and try and overwhelm one of these rifles. But for now, it's actually Roy just spotting out the initial info. He's going to fall right back, and they're going to play safety in numbers.
This should be an easy shut away against the Glocks. And look at this combination. Roy converts 3, and there's the finisher for Asilian. Nice and easy stuff there against the unarmored Glocks. Puts Mad Lions onto 3. This key choke point that we always talk about towards the A-bomb site is that ramp control, and there is a dilemma for the CT side. How aggressively do you really want to play it? Without the open hand before, it is always a little bit risky to play too aggressive, not really knowing what the MIBR buy actually looks like. They could easily have an AWP right now. We can see rose-tinted goggles, but they don't. They don't have this sniper presence whatsoever. And Acor, who was one of the heavy hitters earlier on train, needs to strike once again. This time playing within the sandbags. That's that aggression we were talking about earlier. Just posturing through these smokes to nail and rail the first frag. And MIBR, there's no response towards this side of the map. They're trying to peer into B instead. And there still is a double defense towards this side of things. Molotov is going to slow them down momentarily. I don't think they're expecting, I think, Fur on the jump. They've got this double peek at the ready. And here comes Fur and Taco.
Well, still shutting it down for now. Taco does trade out that frag on the site, but Roy's not going to be missing that one, and it leaves it all down to Fallen once again in a clutch situation. He is able to find that frag onto Roy that's been lingering for quite a while. Now a 2 versus 1. He wants to try and find one of these kills though before he goes for this plant, and well, he swings straight into the AWP of Acor. Not going to be allowed any more in this round as Mad Lions put themselves onto 4. They take out MIBR's buy round, and it actually gives them an opportunity to put 5 on the board as well. As well, I was almost assuming that they were just going to go for an eco here with maybe a couple of pistols. Instead, a hero AK is going to be dropped over to KNG. No real investment other than that, though. That's an interesting one, because Fallen's bank is now completely broken. So that means there almost certainly won't be an AWP available in this buy unless someone else drops it. It doesn't look like anyone else has got the cash for it.
It's that eco cycle we always talk about. And Mad Lions, they might be doing it once again. Wouldn't it be sensational if they put back-to-back, almost flawless CT sides on the board? MIBR still have a lot of time in this first half, though. Yes, this will likely go 5-1, but with only the half buy coming through, they've got the opportunity for a full investment coming up in the 7th. They're only finding one in the meantime, though. The damage just isn't being dealt to this defense, and MIBR held at an arm's length away from both bomb sites, but primarily A, where they're unable to scurry and scavenge up ramp, leaving still this defense posted. Acor's got a great angle. He's not been forced off. Even one flashbang will just allow him to take the shot and fall away, reasserting his angle for even more damage as he nails both of those kills. 5-1.
5-1. Mad Lions' economy's already started to build up. They've got a nice cushion of 4, 5, even 7k on Acor behind them. The MIBR buy will come through, but as I said, no AWP available. No player had the cash. Had Fallen gone for a hard eco in the last, then I think he would have actually had enough for it, but instead goes for that hero AK on KNG, which doesn't really get a whole lot of work done, and now he's just down to this Galil. Roy, once again, getting aggressive, wants to find this opener. It's TRK to do so instead onto Innocent, but Roy's still got this incredibly aggressive stance, and he's able to find one. Unlucky from Acor there that he can't connect that shot, but Roy's still doing work. He's got the bomb down as well. Shush is chiming in with his AWP, and the man advantage still in Mad Lions' favor, despite the fact that MIBR found those opening kills. And this flank now doesn't really do a whole lot from Taco. He had this B-bomb site open. The bomb could rotate round, but instead it's dropped on ramp, and he's coming in from the back lines, but I think it'll almost certainly be anticipated.
Especially with the bomb in the open. That was Taco's one big advantage in this 1 versus 3 gone. But a headshot found. That does give away the preliminary information, but with 50 seconds left, he's going to try and trailblaze into this bomb site. And with smokes on both players, that Molotov's not going to be massively impactful. Does give him the information onto the second, but they can play this double crossfire once again, and there's the coordinated peek. That's just the 3-2-1 setup, just counting it off, 6-1 on the board.
Well, we're seeing a similar problem here from IBR. They're just struggling to convert these frags. They've been struggling to get this bomb down as well. In so many of these rounds, they push in, they take a couple of initial gunfights, maybe they go their way, but they just can't seem to get close to the site. They can't seem to get anywhere near putting this bomb down. Another timeout comes through. An opportunity to talk about what's going wrong here. And an opportunity to talk about our partners over at Hellcase. Make sure you use code MALTAV15 for a 15% refill bonus when you top up. MIBR could really use with the top up on their bank accounts right now. Very little money here. Not enough to go for a full investment. Instead, I think it's just going to be the Deagles and Kevlar. which gives Mad Lions a good opportunity to put themselves onto 7 already.
I think they could probably do with the top up in the confidence department as well. They've only taken a total of 2 rounds this series thus far. And it might not get much better considering this isn't a full buy coming into round number 8. Molotov's going to stop any rush towards the B bomb site. Albeit that wasn't what they were going for, needless to say. Got to be very cautious of these nades as they roll in. Just a bit of a stalemate here as the Deagles will try and approach for this first kill. But Shush is not exposing himself to this wooden plank. There's no way that Taco can receive this first frag without getting up close and personal. And that negates his advantage with this Deagle. Does take a more aggressively stanced angle here, but now he's got a Cillian to back him up. Here come the kills once again. It is a bit of a fake with the bomb negotiating its way elsewhere. But all of the kills coming through once again. Great containment policy from Mad Lions. As it is only TRK remaining. And I don't think that smoke is going to gift him a bomb plant whatsoever. Does spot out the AWP, but Akor re-challenges 7-1 here for the Danes.
Akor's been absolutely incredible. Even in that situation where KNG's up close, he's got a nice kind of angle where he's tucked up against the wall, and he almost certainly wins that fight every single day of the week. Akor just walks around the corner, uses that AWP like a shotgun, and it just doesn't phase him at all. MIBR now, finally on a buy round, and finally Fallen has got an AWP in his hands. What can they do with it? They're already 7-1 down. They need to start finding their form. They need to start coming back into this one, or this is going to be a very, very quick series. Right now, they're spamming away through ramp. They're once again trying to take control over towards this A side of the map. And well, the AWP shot's going to fire off. He's going to start to fall right back and fur. There's no potential for him to find that opener for now. But with 1:20 on the clock, they've taken a fair amount of control.
Against Gambit Youngsters just the other day, getting Fallen's AWP in hand on this T side was the big difference maker. That's a whiffed smoke. It actually goes under the ramp there. Nevertheless, able to get himself into a position behind these sandbags. That is a really, really bad smoke. Quite unfortunate, to be perfectly honest. And missing that first shot, that's insult to injury. He even gets ripped out of the server by Akor once again. He's been routinely losing that aim duel. And Akor just absolutely consistent on both CT sides of both Train and Vertigo now. There's one kill in response, but gets blasted right back. What was that? Akor sees nothing but hits everything. 1 versus 4, TRK with no chance. This is a done and dusted round. There's just no opportunity in this one. Surely he needs an ace, and Akor is still watching and waiting, going for all of these kills. TRK sprayed down to just 50 HP now, and he's got to find all of these jewels, and it's just not happening. 8-1. Mad Lions asserting themselves on the scoreboard with a real dominant lead. How do MIBR get their heads in the game right now?
I honestly don't know. If I had the answer, I'd be their coach. There's very, very little they can do here except just come in firing on all cylinders and win their aim duels. That seems to be the problem. Time and time again, they either can't win that initial duel and they take that man disadvantage with no trade potential, or they actually kind of trade evenly, but then always come out on the back foot. Now they try and go for this fast A push again up the ramp. This time, if they can find the kills, maybe they get onto the site, and as Roy falls early, there's an opportunity for them. KNG, the man to find that kill. The smokes go up as well. It leaves it all down to Innocent in this difficult position, and he's trying to fight his way out. He's only good for 1. The man advantage now firmly in MIBR's favor, but they have to be wary of this flank from Shush, and the bomb's still yet to go down as well. They've taken so long that the smokes have already dissipated. It's not going to be denied, but oh, he is going to fall straight after to that fantastic Molotov. KNG. Oh, no!
Oh! That is a sensational shot. Akor is just hyper aware. He's reading the game like it's written on the back of his hand. 9-1. That is something special. And I've got to say, Mad Lion's utility usage there on the A-bomb site is second to none. You see those Molotovs and flashes rolling and trailblazing through the top. MIBR kept at an absolute halt. They don't get anywhere close to that A-bomb site. And even when that C4 does finally go down, TRK is even finished off by the incendiary grenade. Nothing is going right for this T side. And that's just because Mad Lions are playing a really great defensive half. You see all of those nades routinely. MIBR are walking into this bomb site with 50, 60 HP to boot. That's just not good enough. The defense once again able to trade, and now maybe wanting to fall back to a more passive line. Yes, the AWP's in hand, and Acor being challenged up close and personal. AWP at the ready goes down, and MIBR finally with some success. This bomb can go away. Shush needs to save, and that is going to be only a second round for MIBR, bear in mind. They need a lot more.
Well, it's a round, and they're able to retrieve an AWP. For now, they should be able to keep 4 players alive as well, so it's certainly a good one. But they've allowed Mad Lions to already get to 9. This is already a good half for Mad Lions. Even if MIBR pull back every round from here on out, this is already a good half for this CT side. And considering they've still got plenty of rounds to play with, MIBR are certainly playing a dangerous game. But this could be a turning point. If they pull this one back, they have a 9-6 half. There's definitely potential for them, but we need to see more of what we saw this round. Them actually winning these gunfights, them swarming this AWPer. As soon as he misses that first shot, they've done perfectly there to push right in, try and take that kill. That's exactly what they've done. Traded well, taken that round. Now they have an opportunity to invest into this one as well. Surprisingly, where's that AWP gone? They retrieved one right at the end. Did they swap it out for an AK?
I'm really not sure. At the end of this series, when we do the wrap-up, Acor, his face will show up on the screen with 50-plus frags, I'm sure of it. Thus far, he's been absolutely beasting this side today, and maybe a little bit of speed might favor the Brazilians. Yes, the Deagles chip through for 2, and it's Acor once again to do everything. There's a Cillian finally battling back, and somehow Mad Lions come out with a one-man advantage. The AWP just finishes off everybody. What a quad kill. Acor seems to be doing everything for this defensive side right now. 17-4. I just spoke about his flawless performances over on Train, and he's doing it once again. Vertigo's been his playground. He's been toying with MIBR since the start of this series. 10-2, back to winning ways for the Danes.
That's absolutely what you want to do. Don't allow your opponents to string together a multitude of rounds. Instead, just bounce it right back your way. That was incredible from Acor. We didn't get the privilege of watching it, of course, but those first 2 kills, he actually swapped out to the Deagle and found them. And once again, he's connecting. A fantastic shot onto Fallen. Shush found one of his own earlier on in the round on mid as well. So they actually have a 2-man advantage here early on. TRK deals a bit of damage, but no trade found. Taco's forced right back to. This utility usage is fantastic from Mad Lions. They're not allowing MIBR any equity into any of these rounds. They just continue to apply pressure with these utility, apply pressure with these kills. Nothing they can do here. Even KNG, who's on this lurk, wrapping around to this A-bomb site, he thinks he's taken a load of control because there's no one here and he's calling these rotations. But Mad Lions are very, very aware. They're just playing this setup very deep. The rotations have been called in, and ooh, a nice opener for KNG. But still the man advantage for the CT side.
That changes incredibly quickly. Still a 3 versus 3 scenario with Mad Lions at the ready. We're a little light on utility as the smoke's whizzing and through. Innocent, he's got one too. So MIBR, yes, they're aware that there might be a flank in place. We can see that there absolutely isn't. And Acor's on a tear in this server. Another lightning fast headshot to eliminate Taco. And TRK and KNG must be incredibly scared to go for this peak right now against Acor. He's at the ready. They're letting this bomb tick down and away, but here comes the peak and the response. Acor, he's at the ready, misses a shot. As Innocent finds one more. The defuse is happening, and TRK's ready to prevent it. That's a third for MIBR. But how many more are they going to be able to take this half? A 10-5 is the best case scenario, and really that is a really rocky road back. I think you're expecting 8-10 on your T side, something in that sort of remit. That's obviously, it's been impossible for some time for MIBR at this point.
Well,
You know what? I've got to kind of say this, but this is actually shaping up to be the most one-sided match in Multivibe's history. We've seen hundreds and hundreds of best of threes, and I can't remember one, and there literally hasn't been one this dominant and decisive. Mad Lions are pulling together an absolute masterclass, and this is MIBR's opportunity to turn the tides.
Has an idea where this AWP is playing, and he's able to eliminate him as well. Nice shot from Shush, but I think they're going to fall right back and save here. Their bank is actually finally broken, despite the fact that they had above 10k on many of these players. They've had to reinvest a fair bit in these last few rounds, and actually saving this AWP and M4 will be relatively impactful, considering they won't have a buy. They'll only have this 2-round loss bonus, so what can you get around that? I suppose they drop a couple of rifles, perhaps. Not even rifles. Drop a couple of SMGs. Maybe they pull out a buy here. Of course, it will be the last of the half, so there's no point in ecoing, but I can't imagine they'll be able to pull out a whole lot around these 2 rifles that have been saved. An opportunity for MIBR to put themselves onto 5. It's certainly not a good half, but all things considered, it's not terrible.
I think we have to play testament to how much hard work Mad Lions have obviously been putting in over the course of the last year or so. Ever since I saw them live at the V4 Future Festival, where they were under this tricked banner, slightly different roster as well, they obviously had potential. And since coming to Mad Lions, that's only just like bursted out of control for them. And now MIBR, the speed does seem to be favoring them on this T side, but it might still be too little too late. I'd love to see them nade stack this sandbags angle, and that might actually come through. You see Roy takes a lot of damage right there, down to 40 before he even gets started, and here comes the secondary HE, takes him clean away.
Nice and smart from TRK to give them this advantage. It does go back the other way, though, as Shush connects a nice AWP shot. Gets away in time as well and peeks for the second. Fallen, certainly not expecting that one. KNG with this AWP is able to level out the numbers, but third drops down. The bomb's still out in the open. That smoke's going to allow them to retrieve it, but in the meantime, Innocent trades out KNG. They have a man advantage, and around they didn't have a lot to work with. Now they stack up towards this B site. First just made the step, and that's going to initiate the swing. Acor finds himself another, looking for the last onto TRK, baits him into the peak, and Shush is going to finish him off. Mad Lions put themselves onto 11. We have an 11-4 half in the second game of this series. MIBR collectively taking 5 rounds so far. This is not looking all too good for them. They really need this pistol round, and they really need to find their groove on this CT side. Otherwise, this is going to be a very, very quick series.
Wow, wow. Acor's doing it again. 20 kills on this CT side. Over on Train, I think it wasn't worlds apart from this. He was able to find, I think, 20 kills over that map as well. He went 20-4 to get things finished. So I think we know who's going to be topping the table after this one. It is him and Shush in quite close contention, considering Shush finished off that previous map with 26 frags of his own. Seems to just be this double-pronged defense, doing almost everything. 11-4. And this is a T-sided map. We cannot just underestimate this. 11-4 on the board. Should be the other way around. MIBR, they won the knife and selected this T-side.
I do question, okay, and we didn't get to see it over on Train, but I do question how strong their CT side really is, because we literally saw 2 rounds of it on Train, and I do wonder, had they have won that knife round, they start off on the CT side, maybe they take a few rounds to kick things off, and then they don't get themselves into that rhythm that they were, where Mad Lions had just taken those initial rounds. MIBR were on the back foot. They were kind of forcing them buying, and it just wasn't working out for them. Nothing was working on their T side, and I think that can be a real morale basher. And as I say, had they started on the CT side, kicked things off a little better, maybe they come into this series with a little bit more momentum. But instead, it's again, they're just not really pulling a whole lot into this game. If Mad Lions can take this pistol round, I think that might just seal their fate.
Well, we know that Mad Lions are exceptionally good on this T side. We know that they've got many, many tricks up their sleeve, a deep strat book, and I don't even know if they'll have to get it out in this particular match. They've been incredibly convincing and dominant. You see that Asilian definitely has a couple of ideas in mind. I think that opens things up for the mid smoke here, as he still hasn't gotten rid of it. Spotting out the defense, getting nice and aggressive here. MIBR should be able to take him down as the Glock tries to trail away. Mad Lions forced into A, into the duo of pistols. The P2000s, weapons that we don't often see, but here come the Glocks up close and personal. Both of those frags found, and now Mad Lions can go for the full execute. They're not throwing any of this utility though, Jay. It's a complete open barrel here, just shooting through and finding two. Asilian down to 1 HP as well. This round just got a lot harder for Mad Lions, and they did have smokes in the arsenal. Innocent, what a headshot. He's going to come in from the second side. And with this bomb down on the A bomb site, how did MIBR prevent it? It's just Asilian railing away faces. Once again, it's Taco. Another 1 versus 3, and Asilian finds him as well. 12-4. This series just looks really over.
That was MIBR's best opportunity to get back into that game, and it was squandered. A 3 versus 3. They had the site, they had the bomb down. It just slips away off the back of some incredible shots. The first one coming in through Innocent on sandbags. And a follow-up as well. Really, really nice stuff. Smoke is going to connect this time. I like that we follow this smoke now, just in case it goes out the map once again, like we saw in an earlier series. This time, Taco, he's only good for 1. That's going to completely give up this B-bomb site as well. Fur finds himself a nice 1D on an unsuspecting Innocent.
He was stood there, all innocent.
Yeah.
And he just gets shot in the face.
How can you do that?
It's cruel punishment. And now the AK-47's at the ready. A couple of kills come through, leaving just Asilian, on his own once again. All of these players are incredibly low on HP. And Fur's finally able to tap the final bullet through. Only 35 points of health between those MIBR members. That was very doable.
Yeah, that spray, you can see flurry of red glowing in those players right there. Just 2 HP, 3 HP. Certainly could have gone the other way. MIBR, that's quite an important round for them to take, though. It gives them some weapons to work with. It gives them an opportunity to close this gap. Of course, this is only a 7-round gap, which is a lot closer than we saw here on Train. Actually, after that 14-1/2, they're 13 rounds behind. That's near impossible to come back from, but 7 in a row, very, very doable. Let's see if they can get it done. They just face up against the Glocks here from the Mad Lions. They know they've got plenty of rounds to play with, and they'll just give one up here to MIBR, fully invest into the next and try and close this one out. For now, playing this one quite passive. They know MIBR are going to be bombarding this ramp area. They want to try and overwhelm them once the smoke dissipates, and for now, it's not going to work out for them whatsoever. It gets completely put to bed. A-Core's only good for 1. Possibly another kill here. It's not going to happen. Innocent gets taken down, and MIBR put themselves onto 6.
So this is where we have to see how MIBR are going to post their defense. Usually, they like to place Fallen's AWP towards the A ramp, sometimes even going for a double AWP setup on the A bomb site with him and KNG. That's sometimes when they're struggling. We saw that against Gambit Youngsters just the other day. It's very unconventional on a map like Vertigo to be playing that double AWP setup, both on the same bomb site as well. That does seem a little bit weird. We'll see if they go for it later in the game, but right now they just can't afford it. And saving 4 rifles, there's no reason to put together that sort of heavy investment. It's called high risk, high reward for a reason. That's a beautiful nade. There's a little bit of damage onto Asilian, and now Taco has to single-handedly hold up the line and radio in for reinforcements. Fur is here, but too little too late. As Taco falls, the smokes go down and away, and Mad Lions should be able to get back onto this B bomb site. There's another traded frag. TRK gets nailed. And here, MIBR, how are they going to get back into this one? A-Core shuts down another. This is all falling apart at the seams for MIBR.
Fallen. 1 versus 4. It's somewhat worth them holding on to this AWP, but at the same time, if they lose this round, it all just starts to flurry out of control. I think he is going to go for this save. They do actually have enough money in the bank to buy into the next, so absolutely makes sense, but such an incredible round from the Mad Lions there, just playing the numbers, swarming in, finding those trades, and a lot of the time they weren't even the trades. They were just able to find those kills and not allow MIBR anything back into it. A good nade early on from Taco, but the real issue was it gave away his position behind that box, and with his teammate playing deep on the site, there's no trade potential. As soon as he falls, no trade can come through until they actually go for the cross, and well, when they do so, they absolutely nail his teammate who's playing deeper. 3 rounds away from this magic number, and if they can convert this next round against MIBR, it will completely break their bank, and they'll almost certainly be able to put themselves onto map and series point.
Yeah, this could be breaking point for the Brazilians. One final buy. 4 players towards this A bomb site. This has been a commonality of their defense, and you can guarantee that Mad Lions would have dug their teeth into the demos, knowing that Taco is often isolated on B, just on his lonesome. And with MIBR, look at the rotates. They're millions of miles away. The smokes is going to ensure they cannot rotate. And already Mad Lions getting their teeth all the way into the CT spawn. There's no coverage of mid. And that's the weakness that I talked about hours ago at the very start of this broadcast. In Mad Lions, they found the key, the opening to be, even with KNG in the back lines, this surely shouldn't be too much of a diversion. It might even be time to save for MIBR if they can't find this opening pick. And sending everybody away, back to A, tail tucked between legs, means Mad Lions do take 14. As you said, 1 away from series point here. They might be going to the semis earlier than expected.
Well, they absolutely deserve to. With what we've seen so far, they are on form. They are playing out of their minds. Good save from MIBR. They're not actually going to be hunted. Mad Lions don't have a huge amount of cash in the bank, and they don't fancy reinvesting. So the AWP will be carried across, a couple of rifles as well. The issue is that no one actually has the money to drop either of these 2 players, so it is actually going to be 2 SMGs coming out and a timeout for Mad Lions. This is the first timeout we've seen this series from them, and an interesting one for them to go for.
Well, they obviously want to close this out sooner rather than later. This has pretty much been a fairly zero pressure series, all things considered, for them. If MIBR get back onto 10, 11, that's when maybe the Danes start to feel the heat a little more than they are right now. But I think they're in their comfort zone. They're literally playing from their houses. And with MIBR obviously caught in a very tricky spot here, this still has the opportunity to be a very decimating and dominating map. Maybe that's what you would have expected after the 16-1 to start us off in this series. MIBR, just a couple of MP9s, AKM4 and all. A polarized buy here for the Brazilians, and it's, well, back to the A bomb site. It feels like MIBR have read this wrong every single time. They've been putting 4 players towards A very commonly. And, well, this time it's only 3, and they lose the initial engagements. Finally, the rotate over from that secondary rifle. That's a lot of damage. But how much are they going to be able to capitalize off the back of this? Mad Lions still looking to put pressure upon A as they sit at the bottom of this ramp. There's only 1 HE in hand as well for Taco, and he's towards the other side of the equation.
Oh, this flank from Innocent might catch out Fur. That's exactly what it's going to do. Now there's pressure. He's being assertive with presence. They have to be wary of the back now because they know that Innocent is lurking. That's a good Molotov. That's going to force TRK out of his position as well. Potential for the spam to come through. Instead, Acor swings and actually takes out Fallen. He's the full HP player there. And as Innocent finds one more onto Taco, this round might all just be said and done. The bomb's going to be rotating over. TRK knows what's up, but he's got 20 HP behind him and a very, very long rotation. Almost certainly gets caught off guard by Innocent here if he peeks out, I think.
Well, this is hopeless.
Oh, no.
Or is it? I think probably still the case, as Acor barely ever misses. I think I could count the shots that he's missed on one hand this series. And realistically, 15-6, he's massively leading the way. 27 frags in only 21 rounds played. And MIBR are on their last legs in this series and in this tournament. Mad Lions, 1 out of 9 will knock out the Brazilians, and they've got a full buy to do it. All of the utility, 4 AKs and that AWP. And Fallen, he doesn't have an AWP at all. Not a scout, just a deagle. The famous hand cannon, in fact. They're going to send at least a flash in to try and get this M4 from TRK into position. But this has to be the golden gun for the CT side. He needs to find 2 or 3 kills here, surely. And I just don't see that happening. Mad Lions, they're never going to be stood all the way out in the open here. They're a very, very well tenured and tailored team, especially on this T side. You see this aggression just working out. They finally send a man towards mid, and there are the shots to connect and collapse. The repeat comes way too late. And MIBR, they're being shut down in this series. The A-bomb site totally open. Mad Lions know it. They've got full control, and MIBR, they're going to be caught with their pants down. There's another closing shot from Roy. That's all of the rifles gone, leaving just Fur's MP9 in play. This series is very, very over. And realistically, I think the most one-sided series I've